Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with
Pedro Sierra.
He's a soccer coach here at Collinsville High School. And today we're going to be talking about the regular season. We have Final Four up and coming this week. And we're just excited and we'll get to see. What are your thoughts on the regular season? Like no playoffs, just regular season.
It's probably the best record we've had in the past 5 years. 18 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie. I think we kind of peaked at the right time towards the end of the season rather than in the beginning or the middle.
And drop off.
And and when we kind of fall off. Those 3 losses, I mean, those are games that could have gone either way. Like the first game, Susan Moore, we lost Jenna in the first
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
He had a red card.
And that kind of broke us down because you lose your starting keeper, but then you have to sub out a starter.
And you're down.
So you're basically down 2 starters. And Jan just did his thing his last 15 minutes and made a small comeback. We were short by a goal.
Lost the mountain break.
Lost the mountain break
Unlucky.
again. A game that we just had full control of. I mean, I don't think Mountain Brook got to our goal much.
Not much.
Until the second half.
We hit the post like 2 times.
Yep.
And in the last 10 minutes, they scored 2 goals out of defensive mistakes.
And it was really in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
In 2 minutes, 2 goals, just mental breakdowns, and big teams are going to make you pay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fort Payne, another game. They were 2-man down, and we just didn't show our quality that day and got punished for it.
Mm-hmm. And then a tie against Susan Moore again.
So we tied Susan Moore again.
It was 1-1. It was a win.
We scored a good goal. They got that PK that could have gone either way.
Either way.
But that's part of it.
Yeah. And then 18 wins. What's the record? I think it's like 21, isn't it?
Stanley says 21, but I'm pretty sure it's 23, 3, and 2.
What season was that? The
2018.
2018?
Mm-hmm. And then 2019, no, never mind. I think 2017 was the year that was the second highest, which was like 18 or 19 wins.
Yeah.
So about where we're at right now.
Because like these last couple of seasons, we've had like a couple like 7 losses, 6 losses.
7.
Like this season, we've only had 3.
Mm-hmm.
And how much did the team improve from last year?
A lot. In every part of the field, I think the maturity level from the back line to the guys up top, I think everybody's more locked in. They're more focused. They know the team goals, stuff like that. Even the little guys like Alex, Uriel, Alessandro, Gio, all those kids, they're bought in just as much as the seniors and juniors.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jeff started a little shy at the beginning of the season. Now Jeff is like just plugged in.
Jeff is already part of this.
Like, he's
part of
all in.
11. He knows he's a starter now.
Even our rotating players, used to when you would sub in players, they'd be confused. Now you sub in, Pablo, Vic.
And they can do the same job as the starters, yeah.
Yeah, they respond the same, if not better, because they're fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What player stood out the most for you this season? I think for me, a couple players that make the big job, obviously Jan, Aaron. I think Sandro did a really good job this season. Mm-hmm. He's really good on the left side. And I think
Chalino
has a good job. His first year playing actual soccer here from high school. He's developed well. He's not scared. He knows what to do. Eddie's also a really good player. He had an injury early in the season, but he's came back from that. It's pretty good now.
I think for me is that's hard because everybody stands out in their own way. But you talk about a player that's clutch in every game. It's Aaron. That dude just, if he tells you, look, I'm about to turn up, like, he does it. Against Tanner, he was saying, let me play up 10 minutes. 10 minutes, scored 3 goals. I mean, I think he spread that lead to, 4-1?
4-1, yeah.
4-1, yep.
And he got a sub.
Subbed off, and then said, let me score 1 more. He goes back in, scores another. I mean, that's just out of the world. So I think Aaron's the player that stands out the most, but Jan, he has so many qualities that makes him stand out. His hustle, his shooting. Who else? Chelino too, just a low-key player, like player nobody expects to be good.
And
but
he does his job.
And he does his job.
Yeah.
Eddie too. Eddie and Alessandro just flying down the line. I mean, that's what we want. The more offensive players that we can have, the more chances we can create. So yeah, those guys.
We had 2 big wins in the playoffs. Was it 8-1 and 6-1? Did you expect?
It was 8-1?
It was no wait. Was it 8-1 or 7-1 against Town?
8-1, I think.
It was 8-1.
Oh wow.
8-1 and 6-1. Did you expect those scorelines?
No, I honestly expected Town like a 4-0, and Tanner like a 2-1, something like that. But we broke them down, and it just started raining with goals.
It was both games. It was like quick goals. Boom,
Yeah, they were
boom,
quick back to back. So that's kind of like a reflection of when we played Mountain Brook. You get scored on once, and then you kind of beat yourself up, and then next thing you know, you get scored on again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for them, those guys kind of couldn't get out of their heads, and we took advantage of that. Scored, I think, 3 or 4 goals in 10 minutes.
8-1. I didn't expect 8-1 against Town. I thought it was gonna be. I knew we were gonna win. But I expected 4-0, 5-0, and then the goals just kept coming in like out of nowhere. You just like look up the scoreboard like, dang, it's 8-1.
Well, before we scored the first goal, and I'll be honest, Town had us.
It was an even game.
We could not get out our half. They were just much stronger, and they wanted it more. And I think once we scored that first one, their team kind of just slowly started falling apart. And then that second one kind of ended everything.
Yeah, and then the next one came in, and the next one, and the next one.
Because it was 2-0 halftime.
It was 2 at halftime, and then second half. It's just the second half.
Second half. You just played with hype, I think, because Tanner boys showed up, and so I think we really turned it up the second half.
It was really packed out. That game was really packed.
Yeah, it was packed out. The Tanner game was packed out.
Packed out too.
Even
It
though
was
we
2 hours away, and
we got the delays. We got weather delays.
rain, thundering. Everybody still showed up. Mm-hmm. 6-1. We're down 1-0 at halftime. What were you thinking at halftime?
I wasn't
You
worried
still
at
confident?
all. I was so confident. I'm not worried because I think we respond better when we're down. We're a team that always believes up until the last minute. Sadly, we've lost 3 games, but we always believe. Even the Fort Payne game, I think that last minute, Eddie had tied it up. They called him offside, but I still disagree. Eddie, as our right back, made a full run in behind their defenders.
Mm-hmm.
But it's part of it. Refs make the calls, and we have to respect it.
And then against Tanner, 1-0 at halftime.
Yeah, 1-0 halftime. I'm pretty calm because we weren't showing our qualities. We were just kind of going through the motions in our heads, thinking, round 2, this is it. But I think we needed to regroup, change a couple things, and then we caught Tanner with a surprise. I think Jan's first opportunity in the first minute kind of made Tanner doubt themselves. I think if Jan had scored that first one in the first minute, I think we would have probably mercy ruled them because we would have had 39 minutes versus 22 minutes.
Yeah.
We scored 6 goals in 22 minutes.
And then, we're down 1-0. I was worried at first. First 20 minutes, I was worried. And then the last 10 minutes of the second half, first half, I was like, we could definitely score a goal. And then when the first one came in, I was like, they're done. I think we had them.
Yeah, I knew. They were kind of like complaining at each other, putting each other down, so it was going to go downhill pretty quick.
Are the boys ready for Final Four?
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to just work on our mobility stuff. Some of y'all got injuries or bruises, so we got to figure that out before we head out tomorrow. We're going to play Susan Moore again for the 3rd time. That's not going to be easy. So I think if we have a big crowd, they'll be the 12th player.
Hopefully.
And so that'll be the difference, the crowd helping the boys push through and just, I guess, being smarter than them tactically and physically.
What game was the best for the team? What game you see they're dang, this is their best game so far?
Cedartown.
Take Cedartown?
Cedartown. I think that game, everybody wanted it, and everybody was, dialed in. They knew how'd you say it? Like, they knew their job, and they did it perfect. Jan, Aaron again, just magical night. Marga making that beautiful run. Won that first goal.
The first goal, yeah.
And then Jan's free kick again.
It was a good free kick.
Insane.
Yeah, in the first half, they had us in the first half.
Yeah, the first half we could not get up.
Like, we knew how to keep it 0-0. Like, our job was to keep it 0-0 and go into the second half and come out at them. And we did. In the first 5 minutes, we scored the first goal, and then the other one came, and we just had it from there.
Yeah. First half, I didn't have a doubt in my mind that we were going to lose, but I did sit down with Coach David, and I told him, I said, this is going to be a long night. Like, we have not touched their half, and the times that we did, we would lose it. But I think we made some adjustments, like, second half, putting Marga back up wide, playing with one defensive mid, pushing Jen up more. And I think that kind of threw Cedartown off, forcing them to drop off. And we won. I
think for me, our best game, like that showed me we could compete, was the Mountain Brook game.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody is like the number 2 in 6A. We came out there we're like, all right, let's do our jobs. Like, everybody was like, y'all gonna lose like 4-0. And then we came out there, we competed, we dominated at points from the game. And like in the game, I was like, dang, we can compete against like these like bigger schools. And then sadly, obviously, we lost 2-0. But we had them. We had Jan hit the post. I hit the post with the header. Aaron hit the post with his shot outside the box. And then they were just unlucky,
Yeah, you're right.
As a coach, how can you handle the pressure knowing a small slip could cause an early ending to the season?
It's my 5th year coaching here, so, and also, with Coach Stanley, we've been to Final Four twice together. We fell short the first year in the semifinal against Morris Hill. We had a lead 1-0 up until the last 10 minutes, and then they tied it up with, I think, a through ball, and it was a one-on-one with Jonathan.
No, it wasn't. It was the...
it was the header.
The header.
The header. And then they won with that one-on-one. So, yeah, I think the inexperience as coaches and as players that kind of led us to give up that lead, because we played a formation that many people didn't really know about. We played with 3-4-3. I think at those last 10 minutes, we should have, fell into like a 4-4-2, 4-5-1.
Play calmer, yeah.
Kind of just holding our lead. And so, like I said, it's just we're a little green, coaching staff and the players. So we knew that next year we would be back. We said it all along that whole summer, saying we'll be back. It'll be us in Bayside. And we did. We played Marshall again, beat them 2-1. It was not an easy win. They were a lot better than the year before. Tactically, they knew how to move the ball around. They had not graduated much players. But we beat them. Then we moved on to the final. And again, it was a game that we had to be smart because Bayside was just a well-rounded team. So we respected them.
Maybe a little too much.
A little too much, yeah. Sat behind the ball for most of the game. We did a lot of running. It was like a conditioning day for us. But we stayed calm. We had faith that, an opportunity was going to come. And we did have a few.
We did have a few.
I can recall in the first 10 minutes where we were just going forward, shooting. And then once they spread us out, it's like everybody got confused.
Yeah, sadly, sometimes it just doesn't work out like that.
Yeah, things don't work out. We get scored on in the last 7 minutes in the final. We lose 1-0, and then we had a little dry spell for about 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, we lost in second round against Westminster Oak Mountain.
Twice.
One was 2-1, a game that we had already beat them in regular season.
Yeah.
And then we lose 4-0 last year, which last year, being such a young team, I think our goal was to at least make it to that round.
Yeah.
And I think the team met the expectations, not obviously those were like the realistic expectations. Like, this is how far the team should get. And they did. Performed well, but again, when you have seventh grader against
4th graders,
when you have 4th, 7th graders starting, it's almost hard to compete.
Yeah.
But
I feel like all of these 2 years built up to this one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Again, I think we're ready now. I think our coaching staff, adding Coach David, that's a huge plus because that takes a toll out of me having to work with defense and offense. Yeah. And then also, Coach Stanley has, the freedom to work on all that administrative stuff, all the stuff behind the scenes that nobody knows. Like, he has a meeting right now with the state, preparing us for Final Four, make sure that
everything's ready, prepped.
Mm-hmm, know all the rules, then ordered all the food, the bus, hotels. I mean, Coach Stanley does a lot for us too. So we want to give a shout out to him and Ryan driving the bus. Haven't flipped us over yet. Haven't flipped us over yet. But yeah, we're all bought in. Coaches, players, managers, everybody. I think we're ready.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's it. That's all I have.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Shout out to CPN. Make sure you like and subscribe. We play Final Four Wednesday. But if this video don't come out in time, we hopefully we'll play in the final Friday against either Providence Christian or Tuscaloosa Academy. So make sure to come out.